We are taught that healing the body takes doctors, surgery, medications to bring the body back into balance. What if I told you there's a more powerful way to not only bring your body back into balance, but keep it there? Let's go get that nugget. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you free from physical pain. If you're not free from physical pain, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. Today, we're going to talk about physical pain in the body and how you can cultivate a positive healing experience. This is, though I don't love dealing with pain, I love having the power behind being able to heal my body. So when we talk about physical pain, I first want to talk about why would I have an episode about physical pain? Well, I'm watching people around me, my family, my friends, and on the media, on the internet, but people who think that if we're in pain, we must seek outside healing to explore, to get that healing, to go to a doctor, to get medication, to have surgery. I hear it all the time, and it really aches and it really affects my heart with this person. My mom has been in and out of the hospital the last couple of months. She's been dealing with this major skin issue, but has also had this shortness of breath. And she had a heart attack back in early 2017. And so that's always kind of on my mind, And so shortness of breath, she goes in and she's diagnosed with congestive heart failure and sent home with lots of medications. And she's doing good now. Of course, that puts a big red flag on me to worry about how my mom is doing. And she lives about she's about just under 2 hours away from me. And I was just there on Saturday, and then Sunday, she ends up in the hospital Sunday at 2:00 in the morning. And so because I'm a coach, I kind of, we surface talk about it, medication and what was the test results and what the doctors say, stuff like that. And then I generally go deeper underlying the actual issue. And I start talking to my mom about what is she going to do? What are the next steps? And how are you feeling? She goes, well, I don't know. I haven't heard from my doctor yet. And I'm like, Mom, I said, this isn't about your doctor. This is about you. And she'll say something, well, I just want to hear what the doctor has to say, and then I'll go with what he says. So that just kind of proves my point, at least in one conversation. My brother's the same way, is I don't know what to do. I'll wait to see what the doctor says. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll change medications. I might have to have surgery. And I just think we don't rely on ourselves. We are in a very disempowering society where something is wrong with me and I must go seek an expert. And all those experts do is push medication, surgery, and you need more experts. You need to talk it out for 35 years. And it really irks me to think that people are wasting their lives going to these outside resources to get answers. Now, take this with a grain of salt, maybe even a big grain of salt, is when obviously you have something, I'm not expecting my mom to stay at home and ponder what she should do when she's got shortness of breath. Of course, go to the doctor. Of course, go to the hospital and get medication for comfort and for surgery. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not a time and a place for that. So I want to make my opinion known. But I think it's very important to understand that you're a part of the equation, that you have the ability to heal your body. So yes, of course, go to the doctor, hear what they have to say, get some education, learn, get a new perspective, take some medication to help you to ease the pain. I get it. I agree with that. However, don't become fully dependent on that, thinking that you don't have an opinion in the matter, that you don't have the power and the capacity to heal your own body. And that's what I want to talk about today. When I look at all of these people that are on medication and all of these people that have emotional issues and they're just going to therapy for 30 some years and weird, they still have the same issue and they're just talking about it, but they're not healing from it. and they're just taking medication, but they're not healing from it. There is something wrong with that. There's something wrong with our culture that is so dependent on the outside sources to fix their body, but they never become empowered. That's what my podcast is all about, is teaching you how to depend on you, how to unleash and tap into the inner power that lies within you. And I'm very passionate about this subject. When I ask people, clients and friends, and what are you going to do about that? And they're like, I don't know. I better go see a doctor. I don't know. I'm going to have to find out. Well, we'll find out. Ask. Check in with your intuition. Check in with your higher self of what you are capable of doing. This is when we truly get to live. This is when we truly get to become empowered and standing in our own power and starting to work with that power to create the life that we want. And in today's episode, we're talking about pain. I don't know about you, but I am a very active person. I love to move around. I love to walk around. I love to engage with my environment. And I can't do that if I'm in pain. And pain generally starts to pretty shortly after I realize that I'm going to be in pain for a little while with my back or my knee and something's kind of holding on for a little bit. It immediately affects my mood, which means I'm not going to be as productive. I'm not getting stuff done. I'm not going to work on the things. I have a lack of focus, and it generally starts to trickle over from my mood to then it affects my relationships, because now I'm kind of irritable and I'm a little bit cranky. And I don't know if that's you or not. We don't like to be in pain, but that pain tells me that I need to focus on something. And the overall projection that I want to give you in this moment is to create balance, creating balance in the body. When we create balance and harmony in the body, then we are allowing life force energy to move through us. You always hear me say and talk about the hose analogy. Kinking the hose, you got the water spigot at one end, you got your garden of life at the other end, and you're standing there with the hose kinked, but the water, the life force energy is flowing through, but it can't get past the kink in the hose. What is getting created between the spigot and the kink? Pressure. That pressure is like your body. Your physical body is like the hose. And if it's kinked somewhere in your body and that life force energy can't move, you start to feel the pressure. Well, in that pressure creates that physical sensation, your back, your neck, your shoulder, your ankle, your knee, your hips, your something. Okay? Headaches. There's pressure created. So as soon as that happens, as soon as there's pain in my body, I'm like, okay, there's pain in this part of my body. Where am I kinking the hose in that place? If it's my back, where am I kinking the hose? Where do I not feel my purpose? Where am I feeling where I'm struggling with money or finances or my purpose on this planet or my connection to Mother Earth? Like, that's all the meaning of the back. And I start to decipher what is going on. Where am I kinked? Oh yeah, it's maybe that conversation I had, or these are the things that we're working on right now. And then I can go in and I can start to loosen that up. I can start to slowly unkink the hose and find that relief in my body. So here's the simple steps. When we have pain in our body, these are the things that I do to start relieving myself from that pain. And I want to walk you through these steps. I think it's important to understand that you have a hand in your healing. My mom's on these different medications, right? And I'm like, okay, well, Mom, but what are you going to do? Like, what role do you have in this healing? She's like, well, we'll just see how the medication goes. And I'm supposed to talk to my doctor next Tuesday and see if there's any side effects. That's putting the role and the responsibility out there somewhere, putting the responsibility on the medication and or the doctor. And it's like, okay, but what about you, Mom? What is your role in this? So when I take on that responsibility when it comes to me healing my body, these are the 3 steps that I do, because and this first step is overcoming the environment. So when I want to heal, I need to get myself as comfortable as possible. Okay. So if it's my back, then, maybe I put a lidocaine patch on. Maybe I take some ibuprofen. Maybe I take, something. In all of this, even though I just said about medication, I don't plan on just giving the responsibility to the medication or the lidocaine patch or something like that. But I'm going to make myself comfortable. But that's not where it ends. So engaging with my environment is, what can I do to make myself comfortable? What do I need to have next to me? Where do I need to be in the house? How do I need to sit or lie down or whatever? Get all of the things that you need from your environment to make you comfortable. And you're overcoming the pain first with the bigger part of you. Now watch the direction of the steps that we do, because the environment is the bigger picture here. So do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. The next is to overcome the body. Now it's about the outside making me comfortable. So the temperature, the clothes, get some water nearby, take some ibuprofen, get the massager out, do whatever you need to that creates this, that pulls in my environment. Okay. The next step 2, is overcoming the body. Well, that's where the pain is, right? I want you to bring your focus into the body. So now we're going inward. We did the environment and now we're going closer inward. Watch this journey. Instead of going outward, we're bringing our energy inward. We're bringing our energy back into the body. Your focus, your attention, your awareness. And I want you to go to where the pain is in the body. And I want you to look at it. Internally, I want you to look at what you are seeing. And if you can't see it visually, that's okay. Sense it. How do you get an idea of how big the pain is? If it's a little tiny headache, it's about the size of a quarter, but it's right here between my eyes. Or my shoulder hurts and it's about the size of a softball and it's right here on the back of my shoulder. Or my knee hurts and it's about the size of a golf ball and it's right in the middle of my knee. I want you to get a sense of the size and the shape and the temperature of the pain. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it moving? Is it throbbing or tingling? Is it pulsing? Is it heavy? Is it dull? Is it, did I say sharp already? And so you're just kind of gathering this information, but in the meantime, you're bringing your awareness inside, into the body. You're comfortable. You're moving inwards. You've taken some medication. You've gotten some, maybe the heating pad. You've gotten a bucket and some whatever, and you're going inward and you're looking at the pain, or you're sensing the idea of the pain. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They want to forget about it. They want to get away from it. So they clog their mind with other things and they go, well, we'll just let the medication take on the role and take the responsibility, and I'll feel better in a minute. But in the meantime, I'm going to just sit here and be crabby and be angry that I've got this pain in my body. And I go, I want you to instead get on the healing train, get inside the body. And focus on the pain. Just look at it. Don't focus on it with negative perspective. Oh my God, I hate having headaches. I can't believe I can't go to my blah, blah, blah because I have this headache. Don't do that. Just go in there with curiosity. I wonder how big this is. I wonder what the shape is or the sensation. And I wonder, where is it completely located in my body? Where is that? Go in there with curiosity. That's going to open you up to working with the healing energies. Now, the last step, you can probably guess what this is, but the last step is going even further inward, and that is overcoming the mind. What do you think of when you have pain in your body? When I first realized that if I get up in the morning and I realize, oh, great, my knee really hurts this morning, as I'm just like, well, there goes the day, and I'm going to be walking the dogs today, I'm not going to be able to focus. And I just kind of go on, it kind of gives me this, I kind of the downward spiral where I start not feeling good, I start getting crabby, I start getting irritated. I'm like, oh, it's really nice outside today, and now my everything hurts. And when you start that way, you're pretty much going to go that way. So being in charge of your thoughts is really going to help you to relax into the healing process. And this will probably be the biggest thing, because we're used to going out into the environment to get our problem solved. And okay, I can focus on the body a little bit, but it doesn't feel really good. I understand. How does it not feel good? I understand that. And it sucks to focus on the pain. But when it comes to the mind, that is the last step. That is the last step to unleashing the complete source of power to heal your body. So when you focus on the mind, I want you to be thinking of healing. I want you to think of balance and harmony and unkinking the hose, releasing the pressure in the body. You've made yourself comfortable. You are focused on and you see the pain. I want you to use your mind to focus on releasing the pain. I release this. I am open to healing. I am open to letting this go. And people go, you've got to be joking me, Jen. You really think that all I'm going to do is say I release this pain, it's going to go away? And I go, yeah, I do. I do, because I do it. Because I can release a headache within just a few minutes. I can release and give myself relief from back pain in just a couple of hours. I can release my knee pain in just a short amount of time. I do it all the time. Now, when you get through that process and you overcome the mind and you start to get in there and you start to be more positive and you start to send it healing, you start to think of it in a loving way. You can't hate yourself to health. You can't hate through the healing process. Healing comes through love. So you have to love yourself through this process of healing. Then, now let's say it's something, this musculature, like my back. And I go, okay, you know what? I went to the doctor and I started seeing a physical therapist and he started giving me these exercises. And by the way I walked in there and how I presented myself, he's like, oh yeah, you have some sort of like a vertebrae out or a bulging disc. And immediately, intuitively, I knew that that was not the right answer. And I said, no. And he goes, yeah. And I said, no. And I'm like, you can't fight with intuition. I understand that's how I'm presenting myself to you, how my body is looking to you right now, and the pain that I'm describing, but that's not it. Like intuitively, I know that's not the right answer. Anyway, so come a few months later, we're still doing these exercises and I'm still having these bouts and these spasms. And I end up going to the doctor and I have an MRI on my back done. And we come back into and we read the MRI and this physical therapist is like, oh, you don't have a bulging disc or a herniated disc or a blown disc or whatever he thought it was. He goes, you do have some degeneration, but nothing that would lead to this. He goes, I'm thinking that it must be something else. Well, throughout that conversation, intuitively, I got the answer that I needed more flexibility in my hamstrings and in my glutes, that it was too tight of musculature, that my pelvis was down, my pelvis was tilted up, which was always putting pressure on my lumbar spine and those lower back muscles, that they were always taut. And then if I would just stretch them just outside of that, they would move right into the red zone. Well, then guess what? I started, because I was a personal trainer, I'm like learning how to do this and understanding my body, as I started to add more hamstring and glute flexibility to my routine. And then guess what? My back stopped hurting. Not only did it stop hurting, but I stopped having those flare-ups. And not only did I stop having those flare-ups, but I moved out of the fear-based thinking of I can't move my body in that way for fear that my back is going to lock up. Now, I don't know how old you are. I don't know what your pain is like. I don't know what things are going on in your body, but it really gets scary for a person who's active to be in a state of fear about moving because they're afraid that something's going to hurt. And I'm thinking, it is time. It's time to take care. So now I'm out of that fear-based space of my back, seizing up in some place, because now I'm working through to balance my body. I want you to think of your body in this big collective space that you have 6 different halves. You have the front and the back half. You have the top and the back and the bottom half, and you have the left and the right half of the body. Now, in order to create a balance, each of those halves need to have balance. You can't have the strong top half of your body and a weak bottom half of your body, or the vice versa, left and right. Now, I'm not going to get into all the personal training type things and musculature, but if my body is like this and it's weak in the back side of the back half of my body compared to the front half, well, then I need to strengthen that. I need to create balance there. And I need to create harmony between those two halves, because those are all your opposing muscles. And if I'm asking and requiring this backside muscle to do this, well, the front side has to have the equal amount of strength to create balance. So now I moved into this physical again. Out of the actual acute pain part, I now go, how am I going to do this going forward? And I use the same 3 steps. I overcome the environment. I'm using the environment. So now I'm going to work out. I'm going to do these exercises. I'm going to get a treadmill, which I already have. I'm going to get weights. I'm going to get bands. So all the stuff in the environment. Then I overcome the body. Now it's, how am I going to move my body so I can get some flexibility, so I can gain some strength, and so I can start to get that movement and create balance? Then the mind. Now I need to put my mind in that place that goes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get stronger, more flexible, and I'm going to become more balanced. Then my body's going to feel really good. I just used the same 3 steps. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. I want you to first use those steps about the environment, the body, and the mind in that order to create some positive healing. This is how you cultivate a positive healing experience, is by moving in that direction from the outward to the inside. Then, when you're out of pain and now you don't want to be in that pain again, do the same 3 steps in the same direction. Environment, body, and mind. When we move in that direction, we get to engage with our environment, which is what we're always wanting to do. But then from there, we go into the body and goes, what does my body need? What do I need in this moment to get healthy, to feel healthy, to start feeling vibrant in my body? As my mom always said, your body is a temple. Treat it that way. But so many of us don't do that. We think that laying around and watching TV and scrolling Facebook and eating donuts and tacos and cheese dip and hot dogs and crap is treating our body good. It's not. And we're clogging our body every time we do that. And we are kinking the hose every single time, creating that pressure in our body, which then eventually is going to turn, and it's not going to be pretty. So my suggestion is going to be learning how to cultivate this kind of a space, learning how to get the environment, the body, and the mind in alignment with positive healing. I hope this finds you well, and I hope that this makes sense and you give a good college try or good college effort into creating this kind of healing experience for yourself. I hope to see you soon, and I hope I find you standing upright and strong in the balancing of your body. Wow, that may have felt like a lot of information in today's episode, but if you're looking for support and a deeper knowledge of what we talked about today, then let's connect. You can learn more about how I work and how you can work with me. Send me an email to the meditationroomtc@gmail.com, subject line, let's talk. And in the meantime, you can join my online Facebook community, Lady Rising, and mention that you came in through the podcast. I look forward to supporting you and connecting with you there.